Bene, buonasera a tutti, ben ritrovati. Spero che la pausa sia stata piacevole. Adesso ricominciamo dando la parola a Biagio Peretti, controllo se è online. Non è online, quindi aspettiamo un po' Biagio Peretti. Intanto che ritorna online, vi leggo alcuni. Questo è il mio cane che abbaia. Vi leggo alcuni risultati di sondaggi che ho scritto e postato durante la mattina e che mi fa piacere vedere hanno avuto parecchie risposte. Sono cresciute quelle relative al numero di visitatori nelle grotte cosiddette minori, quindi quelle non attrezzate per la visita ordinaria, ma per la visita speleologica. 34 sono le risposte arrivate la mattina, quindi praticamente tutti i partecipanti alla conferenza hanno dato la loro risposta. 23 hanno visitato già grotte di questo tipo e forse erano tutti addetti ai lavori. 11 non hanno mai visitato grotte con visita speleologica e quindi li invitiamo a farlo se sono ancora collegati. Poi un'altra domanda che avevo fatto, un'altra sorta di sondaggio, riguardava se le cautele, le precauzioni, le prescrizioni date dal progetto Adiaticaves, secondo chi stava ascoltando appunto tutte le relazioni, potevano essere sufficienti a garantire la salvaguardia di un habitat così fragile in caso di utilizzo per visite sostenibili, cioè visite in grotte non attrezzate. E in questo caso le risposte sono state 25, mi fa piacere vedere che 18 sono stati i no, e cioè vuol dire che le cautele sono state giudicate sufficienti e che quindi le visite con quelle cautele non danneggiano l'habitat delle grotte. 7 hanno ritenuto invece che comunque queste cautele non siano sufficienti e che le grotte possano in ogni caso essere danneggiate. Poi un'altra domanda era molto vicina alle presentazioni che vedremo nel pomeriggio, perché riguarda in particolare la seconda del pomeriggio, perché riguarda proprio la possibilità di costruire e promuovere un brand comune, una sorta di marchio comune tra tutte le aree adriatico-ioniche, quindi il versante italiano e il versante balcanico dell'Adriatico, per cercare tutti assieme di fare massa critica e di creare una meta turistica di maggiore interesse per vincere le sfide del futuro che vedevamo questa mattina come posso dire, la difficoltà di mantenersi nei posti più alti delle graduatorie delle mete turistiche scelte dai turisti mondiali, adesso che molte altre mete turistiche di altre parti del mondo stanno migliorando la loro offerta e quindi aumentando il loro appeal, il loro fascino per i turisti. In questo caso su 21 risposte tutti ritengono, tutte 21 sono positive, cioè ritengono che questo tipo di strategia possa premiare in caso di, diciamo, possa premiare in questa gara, in questa challenge, in questa competizione per vincere le sfide future del turismo moderno. Ora controllo se Biagio nel frattempo è online. No, ancora non c'è. Non è online neanche Annalisa Fazzini. Quindi nel frattempo sono passati 5 minuti. Vedo che Peretti ha qualche problema a ricollegarsi, problema tecnico, quindi provo a commentare ancora un po' i sondaggi, ma non ne avevo caricati altri, quindi altre cose da dire non ne ho. Però mi piace parlare in ogni caso del progetto che vedremo nella seconda parte del pomeriggio e delle sue relazioni con il contenuto di questo cluster che abbiamo visto introdotto nell'ultima parte della mattina e che vedremo più in dettaglio adesso con degli esempi pratici. Un cluster dedicato appunto allo sviluppo del turismo sostenibile. Il fatto che il programma Adrian abbia deciso di costituire questo focus sul turismo sostenibile, di nuovo dimostra che il progetto Adiaticaves era molto centrato rispetto agli obiettivi di Adrian, e da quello che abbiamo sentito dal collega questa mattina che ci ha illustrato diciamo, i risultati del cluster, Konstantinos Zamalukas, possiamo dire che le risorse messe in campo dal progetto Adiaticaves, ma in generale tutte le risorse naturali e culturali dell'area adriatica, sicuramente possono, se ben conservate, permetterci di vincere le sfide future per il turismo e anche di, diciamo, salvaguardare il nostro patrimonio, che è un patrimonio che in molti casi ci accomuna. Ovviamente le due sponde dell'Adriatico hanno una lunghissima storia comune. Direi che la storia di questi due versanti dello stesso piccolo mare si è sviluppata all'unisono. Insomma, l'area è di un unico interesse turistico, ma se ci pensiamo è anche un'unica area di interesse culturale. L'influenza di Venezia, per esempio, e Venezia probabilmente è uno dei più grandi attrattori dal punto di vista culturale a livello internazionale, però l'influenza di Venezia ha inciso dalla Puglia fino alla Grecia su tutte le sponde dell'Adriatico e ha lasciato dei segni importanti nell'architettura, nelle tracce della storia. E questo è sicuramente un aspetto che ci accomuna. Ci accomunano anche gli ecosistemi. In realtà, praticamente, se pensiamo all'Adriatico come un mare quasi chiuso, l'Adriatico è un grande ecosistema. Noi abbiamo tante popolazioni animali che in realtà a livello adriatico sono praticamente un'unica popolazione. Si spostano da un lato all'altro delle sponde dell'Adriatico gli uccelli in un tempo, in un batter d'ali, davvero nel vero senso della parola. E le zone umide, per esempio, di tutto il versante italiano, dalla Puglia fino al Friuli Venezia Giulia, assieme a quelle della Slovenia, della Croazia, dell'Albania e del Montenegro, il lago di Scutere che è a metà tra queste due nazioni, i laghi della Grecia interna e le lagune costiere come Preveza, nella Grecia costiera, sono in realtà per gli uccelli acquatici, per esempio, un unico grande ecosistema. Molte similitudini ci sono dal punto di vista biologico e molte affinità anche tra gli elementi. Questo è di nuovo il mio cane che mi aiuta a temporeggiare. È un lagotto romagnolo, un cane. Dicevo, anche dal punto di vista, anche per quanto riguarda le grotte, l'ecosistema in molti casi ha delle affinità. Ci sono specie endemiche delle grotte che accomunano il versante orientale con quello occidentale dell'Adriatico. Penso che Perretti sia ora online e quindi gli do immediatamente la parola. Grazie per la pazienza in questo momento in questo breve periodo in cui ho cercato di prendere tempo. Lascio la parola a Fabio Perretti, a Biagio Perretti. Credo che Biagio abbia ancora problemi tecnici di collegamento. Possiamo provare ad andare a un intervento successivo. Vediamo se è online Hector Zazulis, che ci parla proprio del marchio Adrion nel turismo, dello sviluppo del marchio Adrion nel turismo. Lui è online, quindi io darei la parola a Hector per questa, che doveva essere la seconda, ma sarà la prima presentazione dei progetti dimostrativi rispetto al cluster sul turismo sostenibile.
Hello? Can you hear me now? I can see a couple of people waving. Okay, this is good. Okay, perfect. Good thing we have the chat at least. This is a way, because it will be very difficult for me to type so fast all my presentations. So, thank you very much for having me here today. Congratulations on your very interesting project. I had an opportunity to speak, I think some of you, 2 years ago when we were still able to travel, and there was the first capitalization meeting in Rome. And that was the first time that I heard about your project, I mean in details, and it was really interesting. Unfortunately, we were not able to meet again since then. I think very soon after, everybody was led to our own personal caves, which are not as nice as in your projects, but anyway. I will today present you two projects that I'm involved with. Adrian 5 Senses and Smart Heritage. I think we start with Adrian 5 Senses. Yes. So thank you very much for the invitation today. I'm very happy to see that there's still projects going ahead and are being successful and have results that matter for the Adriatic and Ionian region. So the Adrian 5 Senses is a project that aims on building and promoting the Adrian brand name in tourism, indulging all 5 senses of the tourists. This, for me, has a lot of ties with your project because it's based 100% on senses. Caves are a sensory experience. It's not a passive way of visitors' experience. So I think that there are some connections there. The project scope was to have a holistic approach through branding and through marketing and through creating new tourism products, and by using the 5 senses, the 5 human senses, to boost the performance of the Adriatic Ionian region in the field of tourism, of course. The results that we have been expecting and we have achieved up to a point, thing is we want to enhance and differentiate the product, the tourism offering of the region, to improve the visibility of Adrian area as a unified destination, not just the micro destinations within. Of course, have capacity building activities and build the knowledge and the capacity of stakeholders, raise awareness of how you can promote a destination, and of course raise the overall public awareness of a destination. We created a concept. It has been created. It's a new brand that we give for free, of course, to anybody who wants to use it and identify with it. So it's based on the 5 senses, 5 colors, 5 natural and cultural elements of the common elements of the region, and we created this, I believe, successful brand, which we have launched since last year, almost a little bit earlier than now, so it's out for the past 14 months. It's going well. I mean, more and more stakeholders are adopting it and using it. We give for free the use, of course, and the templates that we have, and you feel you're free, of course, to use it yourselves. Some of the main outputs of the project are the transnational network that we have built. So in order to bring together key stakeholders of the tourism sector of the region, and we're working together also to promote the brand, we have created a joint strategy and action plan which led the implementation of the project and is still going on for the next 3 years, I think. It covers the next 3 years after the end of the project. We created the brand name and the whole brand, which is free to use, and you can find it on our website. And we also created a WebGIS platform where you can insert points of interest based on the census. So you are also invited to import the caves and any other points of interest you find adequate in the platform. And we are now finalizing the 9 physical or virtual, unfortunately due to the circumstances, exhibition centers where you can access the platform but also get acquainted with the project and the brand. I would have to say that the brand received a very good feedback while we presented it in BIT in Milan and Fitur in Madrid and in Athens International Tourism Expo during last year. Unfortunately, we were not able to attend ITB Berlin because it was cancelled just 2 days before we were able to go due to the COVID situation. But the feedback that we got from our stand, from the tourism industry, was that was a very good way of identify and unify the ideal destination. So there was a lot of foot traffic through the stand that we had. So we would like to suggest that you can build on that success also and take your product also out in the market. It is something of very interest. This is the platform that we have created to invite you to explore the map of sensations, discover the brand, download and use the logo and all the elements, and of course feel free to join the international network by registering online and being part of the discussion, etc. That was my first presentation. I'm trying always to keep in time. I don't know if you have any questions or clarifications, or I should proceed with the smart heritage if you wish, or we can do it later, or whatever, it's the same for me.
Domande, quindi direi che puoi continuare. Grazie. Ti ridò la parola. Ecco qua.
I think the presentation is missing from the system, if I see correctly. There should be one with the smart heritage.
E queste successive sono già quelle dell'ultima sessione, quella sul progetto Adiaticaves. Quindi se riesci a condividere il tuo schermo, riusciamo a vedere la seconda parte della tua presentazione, perché l'unica caricata è quella che abbiamo appena visto.
So this is you need to switch if you want your applications so you can see the presentation. I don't know if the size is okay. So Smart Heritage project is still ongoing. It will keep for some time because there were several delays when we started, but now we are picking up. So now we are almost halfway there, halfway of the project. Our main focus is on sustainable management and promotion of common cultural heritage, mainly through the use of technology. So find smart ways of promoting and building around new smart tourism products. Uh, so the overall scope is through multimedia and ICT tools to create innovative tourism products. Of course, main expected results: raise awareness, prolongation of tourism season, and to strengthen the long-term tourism planning and management system within the areas, and of course, empowering the common cultural heritage feeling of the area. The main outputs which we are currently working on is the first, and for us the most important, is the Faces of Europe, a cultural route. We build around selected historical or fictional personalities of the participating areas that you have all been heard in the past, or you should, like from Italy, it's Caterina Sforza, and for Lee, from Greece, Evia, we will build around the mythological personality of Hercules. So we chose personalities that they had some impact, some significance, or some wider reference in the European history, with one way or another, uh, they have affected the cultural history of Europe. So we build on specific areas that these personalities have existed or supposedly existed, or how our ancestors thought that they have been existed in specific regions and locations, and we are building routes around these, and then we connect all these routes in a wider transnational route. Around this route, we build local action plans. So we have a sustainability plan. We will digitalize several cultural assets in order to support these routes. We're creating unique cultural tourism products as packages around these routes. We are running an awareness campaign, and of course, five per country working groups are supporting this procedure. Uh, of course, we will have also a platform that will present the route, and several other tools that will support, like a short film that will present the route. Uh, Allow us to invite you in a later stage to our events where we will be able to present, and you can also be able to provide us a feedback on what we have done. Again, the project unfortunately is halfway there, so we are just now picking up through a prolongation that we have been awarded. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present the project even in this early stage. And thank you very much again for your invitation to participate in your final conference. Thank you.
Recuperiamo la presentazione che avrebbe dovuto aprire il pomeriggio, quella di Biagio Perretti, e lascio immediatamente al professore la parola.
Grazie. Mi sentite? Io ringrazio, mi scuso per gli inconvenienti che sono successi fino a poco fa. So, thank you very much, everybody. Sorry for the inconvenience that prevented me to intervene at the right time. I thank the organization for giving me the opportunity, in any case, to present our work in the project Thematic. My name is Biagio Perretti. I'm from Basilicata, University of Basilicata. Our project is started in March last year. So we were starting at the same moment when the the pandemic started to produce its dramatic effects in Europe. What have been proposing with our project? We have been proposing to work on cultural and historical resources. Here you can see a view of Matera, one of the location of our partners. Municipality of Matera is part of as an associate partner of our project. Our objective is to promote sustainable and accessible. The key words for our project are for sure sustainability and accessibility. Sustainability, that means for us to design innovative products that ensure a stronger sustainability of tourism, cultural tourism in the Mediterranean and in the Adriatic area. And actually, Matera for us was it's an excellent case study for this. Because Matera, that was a remote and very little known location for tourism, in a few years passed from under-tourism to dramatic over-tourism. Matera before the pandemic, obviously, but was already experiencing the dramatic effects of congestion. Tourism flows in the modern era can change dramatically in few years, and especially cultural destinations are very little prepared to face this kind of impact. So, who we are, academic, we are an actual representation of the famous, in the European jargon, tripole and quadrupole helix. We have academic institution, local development agencies, we have business development agencies, professional associations, research as bodies. So where we are in most of the countries of the Adrian area. We have also a strong presence in the IPA countries, in Serbia and in Albania. What are we producing? I will not list all the outputs and results that we should achieve to at least to get money from the managing authority. But I will focus on a few of the products that we already produced. As I told you, we started right after the start of the crisis of the pandemic. So we decided to prove one of those best talents that should belong to innovators. We tried to prove flexibility. And what did we do? As soon as after we started the project and the pandemic started, we decided to produce a report on what could be the effects of the pandemic and what can be the strategies to restart cultural tourism in Europe, in the Adrian area. And we did a survey among stakeholders, among professionals in the area, and presented in an international workshop the results in last July. I am very sorry to remember what we were expecting in terms of duration of the crisis. Most of the experts, the most pessimistic, thought that the crisis could last until the end of 2020. Unfortunately, now we are far in 21st for an end of this crisis. So one of the outputs of this, one of the results of one of the recommendations that we identified in this report sounds very, very actual in this moment. And this result is we need to change the business model in cultural tourism. I want to be clear. We worked just on cultural tourism about the impact of the pandemic. But also in cultural tourism, we realized that we need to change the business model because the crisis now has been producing dramatic damages to the industrial structure of the sector that nothing can be similar. In the beginning of the crisis, there were two parties. One that said, "Okay, let's resist and then restart. Let's wait that the crisis will finish, and then we will restart." Many were mentioning the 9/11, the attack on New York, and many were mentioning, look, tourism restarted after 9/11, the same will happen now. Now it's pretty clear that this will not happen in the new after this dramatic crisis. We will have to change the business model, to imagine a new model of cultural tourism where an updated, a different approach to health safety, to environmental sustainability should be ensured. You can find, I cannot speak more now, but you can find the report at the link that you see here. That is in our web page in Agion, and I will be very happy to hear from you feedback because we count to be working on this issue also in the next months. So. And we are translating our understanding of the crisis, our feedback from the stakeholders, also producing guidelines on how to design innovative products in the cultural tourism. This is an output that is in progress, and that for sure will be built on the experience of this crisis. Then we have another product that I want to mention. We are designing pilot projects to put in practice what we have been analyzing, discussing in this month. And here you can see a picture per each of the 12 projects. Probably we will develop other projects, but for the moment we have these 12 on which we are working. And with this, I will go back to the keywords that I mentioned before. Sustainability. I will mention this project, this beautiful beach in the island of Preko in Croatia, where our partner is working on an innovative approach in the management of a natural area that is also the destination for leisure tourism. And this is an interesting issue, because now more and more often we see an overlapping of the cultural tourist and the leisure tourist. Many of those that go for leisure tourism want to do some cultural tourism in the Mediterranean area, and vice versa. So our Croatian partners are working on these innovative approaches in the management of the services for tourists. And here I want to mention just another one, that is the GATE. The acronym is GATE. That is an innovative model of tourist guide based on virtual services, on augmented reality applications, that is centered on the keyword accessibility. What I mean, most of the cultural destinations in the Adriatic area, in our Adriatic area, are very little accessible to people with some difficulties of mobility, especially mobility, but with people with some handicap, physical handicap or other kinds of handicap. So we are working in this case in Basilicata on the creation of visual guides that will be based on the accessibility approach, providing interactive guidance to tourists for experiencing cultural realities that at the moment in many cases are not accessible to tourists. So we will have another year to work. I hope to meet some of you at least virtually, hopefully also personally in the near future. The next appointment will be our events that will be that have been launched for the European Green Week that will be held in the beginning of June, and our events that will happen in Italy and in Serbia will be centered on the slogan, cultural tourism is green tourism. We are a little bit optimistic when we say is green. Probably we had to say should be or will be, but in any case we work on a environmentally sustainable cultural tourism. So I thank you very much for your time, for your attention. Here are our contacts and the contacts for our projects. And really, I hope to meet you again. And I congratulate with the Adiaticaves partnership for the beautiful projects and the very interesting meeting today.
Grazie professor Peretti, molto interessante la vostra esperienza a Matera. Ora il programma ci porta alla presentazione successiva, che è quella di Hector Tsatsoulis quella ancora successiva, scusate, perché l'abbiamo già fatta questa. Il pomeriggio è sempre più difficile per tutti, scherzo. Questa è, risentiamo il collega Atanasio Scaloieras, che abbiamo sentito già al mattino, con questa presentazione invece che ci illustra il loro progetto in Xenia in dettaglio, quindi do immediatamente la parola.
Thank you, Massimiliano, for again having me here. So I'm going to present the Inoxenia project, that part of which has already been presented by me and Kostas Gianlukas in the morning. The Inoxenia project has a partnership comprising partners from 7 different countries of the Adrian area. The aim is to improve the innovation capability of the tourist sector in the Adrian macro region, relying heavily on innovation as a supplement for natural and cultural offerings of the area. And to this end, we have built an Adriatic-Ionian tourism technology platform out of networking of the quadruple helix in the tourism sector. The target groups included in the technology platform comprise the quadruple helix. So we have the public authorities, local and regional, the society, so social groups including NGOs, academia, and the business sector comprising SMEs, business support organization, and sectoral agencies with a target to tourism. The first major outcome of the project is the Tourist Innovation Observatory, which is a framework for enabling the tourism innovation system. It relies on big data analysis coming from different sources and offering qualitative and quantitative indicators with reference to tourism, and allowing benchmarking and consultation of both the firms, the tourism firms and the destinations, enabling a better governance of the tourist sector in the area. And you can see that the data that are included are data associated with tourism, data associated with sustainability, and complying with the ETIS framework for sustainability, best practices capitalizing on the Next Tour project, and tourism innovation and sustainability data. So there is a data entry interface that is built in the system, allowing the different stakeholders to input and have access to the data. And based on this, a decision support system has been built, which is accessible under inoxenia.eu, and which enables data-driven decision making, allowing the benchmarking of different destinations. The Tourism Innovation Observatory allows enterprise performance positioning with reference to prices and with reference to rating for a business, for a tourist business, with reference to the entire macro region, or to the businesses that are present in the specific area where the SME is working. And it allows also benchmarking of single firms, and allows different scenarios that are based on an analysis of relationships between pricing and innovation and rating, and makes it possible for the businesses to decide on next investment steps. The second major outcome is the strategic agenda on innovation in tourism that was presented in the morning in detail. This is available also on the project website, and it allows to have a common vision for the Adrian area with reference to tourism. It indicates the innovation trends in the different strategic domains, the strengths and potentials of the area, and presents an action plan for product diversification, smart destination promotion, enhanced collaboration for knowledge transfer, preservation of the environment and mitigation of climate change challenges, harmonization of the legal framework and standards, reskilling of the staff and the stakeholders, and attraction of funding and investment. It has been built out of a network of about 150 stakeholders that helped network around a number of events that we called Inoxenia Cafes, and helping develop a local consensus on the issue. And this can help develop a strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region that would align it to the general policies and priorities of the European Union. The recommendations addressed in the strategic agenda focus on maintaining the natural environment, establishing communication and collaboration platform, removal of administrative barriers and innovation financing mechanisms, and allow the development of a regional innovation system in order to enhance the governance of the tourism in the Adriatic-Ionian macro-region. So thank you for your kind attention, and congratulations for your project as well, and thanks for the invitation we had to attend this event.
Grazie mille a te, Athanasios. Ora recuperiamo l'intervento del mattino, che era stato spostato al pomeriggio, quello di Annalisa Fazzini dell'Università di Teramo, che ci presenta il progetto Approdi. Do la parola ad Annalisa, nel frattempo torno indietro nelle presentazioni in modo da permetterle.
So, hello everyone, can you hear me? Ok, grazie a tutti, se va bene continuo con l'inglese, visto che ci sono anche molti colleghi appunto che insomma non sono propriamente madrelingua italiana, per cui continuo con l'inglese. Eccola, ci siamo con la presentazione. Thank you all of you for having me here today. I'm Annalisa Fazzini, so I'm here on behalf of the University of Teramo for the project Approdi, since the university is the lead partner of the project Approdi. And I'm basically the assistant of the project coordinator, Mr. Bortoletto, that he couldn't be here, but he apologizes and he sends his regards. So thank you, Adiaticaves, such an interesting project that shares a lot with Approdi, and because both try to valorize the cultural heritage related to a minor relevance tourist destination. In their case, in our case, arbors. First of all, I want to apologize if you're going to hear some noises, but there are some construction works going on in my building, so maybe it can be a little bit messy, but I'll try to explain you what our project was really about. So Approdi was basically a project about the promotion and valorization of 5 ancient arbors in the Adrian area. So these 5 arbors were our 5 pilot cases. So we have the arbor in Corfu, so in Greece, then Dubrovnik in Croatia, Durrës in Albania, Ortona and Venice in Italy. So why we actually chose these 5 arbors? Because they were the endpoints, they were the very core of the ancient maritime routes. So in the Greek times, in the Roman times, and even later on with the Venice domination, with the Ottoman domination, and so on. So basically these arbors are not often considered like really interesting tourist destinations. So what we wanted to do is that try to enhance like the history, the cultural heritage related to them. So, of course, there were many partners involved in the project, and as you can see, these are the main partners. But let's say that the main objectives, the main goals of the projects were, like, as already said, try to enhance, revitalize like non-tourist area of minor relevance, so harbors are not considered tourist destination, try to valorize the cultural heritage related to it, and try to develop new forms of sustainable tourism. So try to have the lowest environmental impact as possible, and at the same time try to involve like community actors, local stakeholders, and all the rest. Let's say that the project lasted almost 2 years. So the project officially ended in December 2020, but we had like 2 more months extension. So it basically ended like last month. But so I'm going to present a little bit, the main outcomes of the project. So all the 5 pilot cases that I already mentioned went through 4 main stages. So a preliminary research, a local focus groups with the stakeholders, some field investigation. This is one of the most interesting ones. So they went through underwater investigation, archaeological excavations in order to bring to light the cultural heritage related to the harbors, and then a general part of promotion. So going backwards, starting with the promotion, some of the main outputs that we achieved was the creation of an whole Aprodi brand. So we developed our own logo with our own fonts, our own colors, patterns, and this basically was replicated even for the promotional materials. So presentation, videos, offline promotional materials like, posters, leaflets, brochures, and all the rest, and our own online platform. So we have our own website, www.aprodi.eu, if you want to check on it. Our own social media platforms that, even with a small promotional budget, actually reach more than 2,000 people. And let's say that these were the main, results in terms of promotion. But some of the most interesting outcomes were actually related to the pilot cases. So starting with the Dubrovnik pilot cases in Croatia, let's say that the whole project focuses on the old port structure of Dubrovnik. So what we actually managed to achieve is what, going through an archival research, so understanding more about the ancient maritime routes related to Dubrovnik. They went through some underwater investigation and they found out the old port structure of Dubrovnik. But since that structure was so big, we couldn't bring that to light. So a 3D model reconstruction was made. And so according to that, there were a series of, stakeholder network that was built. And there were created a series of study visits and press tours for the harbor of Dubrovnik. Similar to that was the experience in Venice, in the island of Torcello, that for you don't know, it's an island that is almost deserted, is almost abandoned in Venice. So what we wanted to do is enhance the tourism related to it by, first of all, having a zero impact, zero infrastructure archaeological park. So we tried to promote the tourism by having a live archaeology approach. So there were archaeologists that conduct their researches, and actually community and stakeholders could join those excavations. So there were made some itineraries with all the other stakeholders of Torcello, and so there were also organized a series of educational paths. Another pilot cases was the one in Durres that focused on the researches into harbors, the one in Cape of Rodon and one in Batla Kurila. So even in this case, they went through both underwater investigation and archaeological excavation. They found out lots of archaeological findings belonging to the Greek times, to the Roman times. They went through restoration according to the Ministry of Culture. And even in this case, let's say that it was the intention was to build a tourist path connected to the harbors. So organize showcases related to these new artifacts. And so was made, let's say, a network of stakeholders. And so we tried to, in the case of Durres, to promote, those tourist patterns, tourist paths, related to those artifacts that they found out. Another pilot case was the one in Corfu that just recently actually finished their pilot cases that focused on the ports of Paleopolis and Cassiope. And they basically created a tourist path using a GIS map. And they created a mobile app, where they can find like a tourist path that connects all the ancient monuments with also the arbors. Even in this case, a network of stakeholders was built, and so on. Similar to Corfu was the experience in Ortona with La Ritorna beach, because they created a GIS map. So the underwater investigation are not really finished, but even in this case, they wanted to create like a tourist path connecting like the ancient findings related to the ports with all the other monuments. So these were the main outputs that are connected to the pilot cases. But if we focusing on more, general outputs, what our project actually managed to achieve was creating a monography. So basically a publication that is about to get published about the ancient maritime routes. So we actually wanted to promote those ancient maritime routes, those ancient harbors, with a publication as well. Then we try to broaden like this network of ancient cities, of ancient harbors, and we managed to do that by reaching out to other harbors in Le Marche region, which is another region in Italy, and we actually managed to contact like the harbor of Fano and the harbor of Porto San Giorgio. And we also made that joint strategic action plan for the next 5 years, and we managed to create a manual on valorization of the ancient maritime routes. So collecting all the best practices about the promotion and valorization of these harbors. So this is basically our presentation. I try to be as brief as possible. These are all our content information. So thank you again for having us here, and congrats on your project, Adiaticaves. So thank you very much.
Grazie mille a te, Annalisa. Ora veniamo all'ultima parte di questa conferenza finale del progetto Adiaticaves, che è quella che presenta, dopo l'anteprima di questa mattina della regione di Scutari, che ci ha presentato Andrea Iacova. Ora vediamo uno per uno i partner che hanno partecipato al progetto Adiaticaves e l'esperienza che hanno sviluppato all'interno del progetto. Cominciamo con il lead partner, quindi con il Parco Nazionale della Maiella. Passo la parola a Giuseppe Marcantonio e nel frattempo vado a recuperare la sua presentazione.
Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon to everybody. I will have my presentation in English. And first thing, I want to thank all the people who are attending this event today, the final conference, which is indeed the culmination of a work that we partners have started more than 3 years ago now. Let's wait. I see my presentation on my screen. Can I go forward? Okay. Yes.
Sì, certo, puoi andare, ti sentiamo perfettamente.
Slides, because our director has showed the main features of the park this morning already. I just want to highlight that besides this biodiversity, the Maiella National Park is important also for its geological aspects. As you can see, it includes something like 95 geosites in its territory, 22 of which are of international importance. Of course, the main part of the park is made of limestone. That's why all these geological features are so widespread. And there are a lot of interesting karst phenomena, and but it's also important for its paleontology and archaeological and historical aspects. Only one of the caves in the Maiella National Park is exploited as a tourist cave, which is the Cavallone Cave. We'll speak a little more about this later. And another very important cave is the Nera Cave, which is worldwide popular because of the presence of a big amount of moon milk. So for this project we have chosen 4 caves to be addressed by the intervention. One is the Cavallone Cave, which is located in eastern Maiella at 1400 meters altitude, more or less. And as I said, it is the only tourist cave of the park. Then there is the Praia Cave, which is not very much famous outside the regional territory, but it is also important because it is located in an area with a lot of other geological features, let's say, such as mines, which are not exploited anymore today, but they bitumen mines, which were not anymore exploited today, but they were utilized by man since the 19th century up to the 60s of last century. So it is a territory. Well, these important features are spread all over. 2 more caves. The Nera Cave in Piedemonte, which I already mentioned. It's at more than 1,500 meters of altitude, and it's very important for the presence of moon milk. We will see that it is not freely accessible, and we will see why and how. And then the 4th cave is a Scura Cave always in northern Maiella, which is also important for the presence of remains of the prehistoric age, Neolithic and the Bronze Age. Going on. So the Adiaticaves project was multitasking indeed and also challenging at times. One of the first action is to put in place a coordinated information outlook, let's say, and we had to make new information material which had to comply with the standards set by the Adrian Managing Authority. There is a regulation for the use of the brand, which was prepared by the EPBR and was approved by the Adrian Managing Authority. So we had to prepare to realize the panels, brochures, and in many cases this was the first information material that was put in place for this cave. For example, the Praia Cave had no information material before the project. So another action that was undertaken in the beginning of the project was to establish a coordinated network of speleo guides. So we in Maiella, in EPBR, in Romagna, and also the partners in the east coast of the Adriatic Sea, had organized training courses for speleo guides in order to have a coordinated, as I said, a coordinated standard for visiting these caves. As for the Abruzzo region, since there is a official register of the speleo guides, of course we had to rely on this register for enrolling the participant, but we gave the chance also to operators of the visitor centers and cooperatives to attend these training courses just as hearers, as auditors. And also 6 guides from the Romagna, the EPBR, came to attend our training course, and some of our technicians went there when they organized theirs. What was the meaning? As I said, this network of Paleo guides, of course, is meant to continue working also after the end of the project. It will not, hopefully, it will not end with the end of the project. And we also put in place a common Google Drive where all the materials, relevant materials, can be shared by the guides. They can share programs, ideas, photos, and any kind of information that can be useful to maintain this coordinated way of guiding visits. So we also have issued a mailing list, of course, where all the participants, all the Paleo guides are included. Briefly, I think that Veronica will speak about this. We also cooperated in issuing this tour packages catalog, which is available online, I think, at the moment, and where one can draw his own tourist package, choosing which are the caves of interest for him. Oh well, then in June 2019, we organized caving test visit. Why? For two main reasons. These test visits were meant to answer to two different needs. One was to test the outcome, the results of the guided tour. Sorry. So to have a feedback from the visitors about the effectiveness of the guided tour. So we provided all the participants with questionnaires where they could share their experience, that they could show their opinion and about the experience in order to better fine-tune the organization of a guided tour in these caves. And the other reason, as you can see, the work package 2.2 was to assess the impact of guided visits on the environment of the cave. Well, we will see. Veronica has spoken about this already, and I will say a few words later. You can see we have performed some 6 or 7 guided tours, no, 5 or 6, and both with a representative of the stakeholders, schools, etc. Along with guided tours, we also organize side events on the open air. So demonstration, climbing demonstration, tables where you could, the main features of the park were shown, the fauna, flora, and etc. Addressed mostly to young people, but useful for everyone. Actually, there were 2 fine days, let's say. Very. Okay, now we entering the more scientific part of the project, but I want to say just a few words because Veronica has already spoken very clearly about this in her presentation. I just want to show how we put the data logs to collect the data about the temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide, and the radon. As you can see, the red dots show the data loggers for temperature and humidity, and of those, 3 were put inside the cave and 1 outside the cave. You can see on the left the Nera Cave, and on the right the Praia Cave, which were the 2 caves that we utilized for this task. The yellow dots, yellow-green dots, are for carbon dioxide, and there is a green one, which was utilized to detect radon. Correct. Okay, these pictures just show an example of how these tools were placed and utilized. The duration of the monitoring was 1 year, but as a matter of fact, it was more than 1 year, because the project has a prolongation, so we could collect more data than foreseen. But our intention is to leave these data logs for 5 years still, for 5 more years. So to go on, continue with this monitoring, also always in cooperation with the University of Bologna, I guess. And you can see the frequency of the data download, each 30 days for temperature and humidity, and each 3 months for carbon dioxide. Sorry?
3 months radon.
Radon, 3 months radon, sorry. Okay. What were the results? Very briefly, it has already said about this. Well, in the case where the exchange with the outside are low, the human impact has had a higher influence than, of course, in the case where the exchange with the outside environment is higher. I'm not an expert in this, so I just go very quickly. But it is important to outline that for the Nera Cave, also research on the biological component of this formation has been started, with very interesting results that have been shown to us a few days ago. And these data suggest that it is worth to go on with this kind of research, and hopefully we will do that also after the end of the project. Okay, these graphs, I can skip them because you have seen them already. Anyway, they show the variation in temperature during the guided visits. Okay, now another kind of intervention as regarded the facilities, the access, especially as for the access of the caves. As I said, the Grotta Nera, the Nera Cave, is not open to the public. It can only be visited with guides. And to prevent people from entering it without authorization, we substituted an old gate that was at the entrance, at the beginning of the trail that leads to the cave. And this is the only way of accessing the cave, because there is a cliff on the right, as you can see, and a deep slope on the left. So you cannot enter the cave other than passing through this path. And we put this new gate at the entrance, at the beginning of the path. This is instead the gate that was put in place at the Praia Cave, yes, substituting the old one, which were no more useful. And also we made some intervention in order to improve the safety of the path. You can see on the 2 pictures on the right, we had some steps, a staircase has been realized because there was a very slippery slope and visitor safety was at risk entering the cave. A few more examples of what has been done. Also, a new fence has been put in place. Wires, ropes for improve. All of these interventions were meant to improve the safety of the visitors. And also there was an old gate, an old iron gate at the entrance of the cave, which has been removed because it could affect could contaminate the environment of the cave. So it was removed because it was not necessary anymore. Oh, this is another action that we undertook, was in order to make the cave visitable also for everybody, also for disabled people, and also without entering materially inside the cave. We decided to make the cave visitable via a scanned 3D laser scan model. Now I will try a mission impossible, which is not making mistakes in sharing the screen for you to see a sample of what we have realized. This is the Nera Cave. If you want to see it full screen, you can click on the top right corner of the speaker window. There is a small lens. If you click on it, you will see the page full screen. So, sorry, no, they tell me that I'm not. Okay. Sorry. I said it was impossible not making mistakes. Okay. Okay. Now you can see it, right? Okay. Click on the lens if you want to see the page full screen. Okay. So you can, with this tool, you can decide how you want to visit the cave. You can use your mouse to navigate all around the cave. You can make the path inside, from outside to inside the cave, pointing the green dots and pointing the red dots to get out. This is the red dots represent the way out, and the green dots the way in. You can see in the lower right corner also a map of the cave. If you don't want to make the tour pointing the dots, you can jump from one location to another just clicking on the blue dots. You can see? Okay. Now you can see the moon mill formation of the Nera Cave. Here you can see them. And you can point on the information symbol, and you will, there is a bat here, and you have information about the bat. Another way to use for using this tool is to click on one of the pictures on the top of the window, and you can jump from one location to another inside the cave. This has been made both for the Nera Cave and for the Praie and Scura Cave, right? Okay. That's it. Now we can start again with the... Just one moment. Okay. This is how this material has been realized. Yeah, this must be underlined that in this way also disabled people which in no way could enter the cave because it's not possible to access with a wheelchair or something. In this way also these people can enjoy the beauty of these caves. I don't know if I'm going long. Thanks to this 3D scan, we also can realize the planimetry of the caves, detailed planimetry of the cave. And then another facility I realized that with the project is a diorama which was put in one of the visitor centers of the park, which reproduces in a very accurate way the environment inside a cave, in a hypothetical cave in the Mayala National Park. Oh, then the Book of Caves has been, we have already spoke about this before. It is important that besides the 17 partner caves, we also collected the sign, the information of 20 more extra project caves. This means that 20 more caves, the managing bodies which manage all these extra project caves has signed the Charter of Caves, committing themselves to comply with the rules and regulation of this charter. So this is an important achievement which also goes also outside the project. I think we are at an end, almost at an end. Since we are lead partners of the project, we also had a task to take care about the financial and technical reporting. We had to keep the relationship with network of partners, take care of the steering committees, which were periodical meetings with among all the project partners. Unfortunately, as you know, this pandemic has kind of jeopardized a lot of these events, but we did our best anyway to reach the goals that we had foreseen. Since this is the last slide, I want to take the chance to thank a lot all of the project partners first. I think that we really did our best to achieve the results that we have actually reached. I apologize for some issues that may have occurred in the time, but I think it's also understandable given the conditions in which we had to work. As for the Mayala National Park, it was the first time that we had the chance to cooperate with these partners. It was a real pleasure from my side, and I was very happy of what we have achieved. Also, I want to thank our managers, Erika and Armando, and thank them also for their patience, other than their commitment. And I also want to thank the managing authority, of the Adrian program, the Emilia-Romagna region, for their support and understanding. Thank you very much, and I'm done.
Bene, grazie a te Giuseppe, grazie a voi per aver svolto il ruolo di lead partner. Mi unisco ai ringraziamenti per Erika e Armando, perché sono stati degli ottimi project manager e direi che il merito del buon risultato del progetto va ovviamente innanzitutto a loro. Proseguiamo adesso in ordine con le presentazioni. Quella successiva è di un altro partner di progetto, ovviamente, che è il Cantonal Public Institution for Protected Natural Areas of Sarajevo. Lascio la parola quindi a Denisa Dedic, che ci illustra la loro esperienza all'interno del progetto Adiaticaves.
Hello everyone. This is not my presentation. This is the one. Okay. Can you hear me all? I hope so you hear me. Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. I would like to greet you heartily on behalf of Cantonal Public Institution for Protected Natural Areas. I'm Denisa Dedic, and today I will present you the activities that have been done during this project. Okay. First of all, I will tell you something about protected natural areas of Canton Sarajevo. Protected natural areas currently cover 2.44% of total area of Canton Sarajevo, which is 3,091.8 hectares precisely. The institution manages with 5 protected natural areas. 2 of them are monuments of nature and 3 of them are protected landscapes. This project, Sustainable Management and Tourism Promotion of Natural and Archaeological Heritage, Adiaticaves, has been implemented and realized on the protected landscape Bmw. 8 caves exist on this area, but only one of them, the main Bmw Cave, or on Bosnian Srednja Bmbarska Pećina, is open for visitors. Bmw was declared the protected landscape in 2003. Specific hydrological characteristic, first of all, sinking Creek Bjelila, Creek Brodić, springs Banjevac, Studenac and Junakovac, heterogeneous geological substrate and climate factors caused the occurrence of different soil types that result in reach of species and ecosystem biodiversity. Thanks to very complex natural phenomena, there is a variety of species, especially rare and endangered ones. Main Bmw Cave make the basis of speleotourism development, but the other caves on this area are attractive for tourists too. They all offer multiple tourist products with many tourist attractions such as natural, geological and geomorphological phenomena, aesthetic experience, adventure, education, recreation and more. Besides the classical tourist offer, there is a possibility to develop an adventurous tourism. Main Bmw Cave is morphologically unique and consists of the entrance and 3 long halls that are connected. Actually, all these 3 halls are the parts of the one unique corridor with northwest orientation, which connects with another corridor with west orientation. The narrow passage has been expanded during the previous activities for tourist purpose. The 4th hall was named Music Hall because of its acoustic effects, and it is originated from different merged corridors whose remains can still seen on the ceiling of the hall. The whole cave is covered by the thick layer of the clay on which different cave decorations have been estimated, as you can see on this picture on the slide. This project, as I said, refers to a sustainable promotion and management of the natural and archaeological heritage of the caves. This project was implemented on the area of protected landscape Bmw, and that result in whole new concept of the tourist offer as a part of Paleo tourism. It was necessary to complete a lot of activities to reach the goals of this project. First of all, it was necessary to organize the team that will work on realization of the project goals. The project team of Cantonal Public Institution was consisted of experts from different areas who were in charge for monitoring and implementation of the project activities, presence on the meeting with project partners, and were very actively involved in cooperation with the local community and in visual presentation of this project. The project team was maintaining regular correspondence with the project partners and continuously reporting about completed tasks and finances. As a part of this activity, all the relevant information were collected in order to help to improve tourist offer. The process implies identification and analysis of all stakeholders who could possibly contribute to the development of the tourist offer in this area. As a part of the promotion activities, tourist packages was created with tourist agencies which work in the area of Canton Sarajevo. 3 local tourist packages were created as a cooperation with the local tourist agency and published on its web pages, and you can see them on this slide. The workshop Tourist Guides Through the Karst and Caves was organized in April in 2090, where methods for creating tourist offers for visitors and experiences were presented. Experts who are involved in the development of Paleo tourism were present on this workshop too. They explained the problems of visiting the caves by tourists and present them that. The practical part of the workshop involved the demonstration of the best area for visitors by tourist guides and engaged experts. This contributes to the exchange of experience and positive practices in order to implement new models for sustainable tourism management. Also, a guide named Guide on Cave Tour Guidance has been developed as a manual for interested parties from the area of Paleo tourism and management. Promotion of this project done through the many activities. The project was presented on Tourism Fair in October 2019. The news about this project were continuously published on the official web page of the Cantonal Public Institution and in the media too. And based on the recommendation of the project team, we created and printed promotion materials like brochures, catalogs, and roll-ups in order to improve the visual presentation of this project. The poll was conducted on visitors in order to promote the project and to get a review and suggestions. The poll was organized in cooperation with Speleological Society Karst, and the visitors were interviewed during their regular visit. The visitors and 2 tourist guides were interviewed in total. During the cave tour, the project and its main goals were presented to the visitors, and after the tour, they wrote their impressions. The general conclusion was that they were enthusiastic about project idea and information they got from the guide. And also they believe that this concept will improve tourist offer for Bmw. Through this project, the evaluation of underworld and speleodiversity has been conducted, as well as the research of the ecological parameters of the cave habitats and speleological research of unexplored cave corridors in order to promote and manage the natural heritage. Also, the program of the management of speleological objects has been created and in place organization of the tourist visit and tourist guidance. To estimate the impact of tourists, detailed researches of microclimate were conducted. Data loggers were installed in order to record temperature, relative humidity, carbon dioxide concentration, and radon. All 8 caves have been explored, and the results showed quite different values of temperature from the average annual temperature, and the reason for that is the high impact of hydrological characteristic of this area. The entrance of the main Bmw cave has also quite smaller temperature values than the average annual temperature. The speleodiversity monitoring showed that the most common residents are bats, because the cave provides ideal life conditions for them. 24 bat species were identified to exist inside of Bmw caves and surrounding area. Significant residence of this area is the western barbastel, considered as one of the rarest European bat species according to IUCN. Caves are also inhabited by troglobites, real cave animals, which are completely adapted to life without light and cannot live outside the cave. In order to develop new concept of tourist offer for speleotourism, the infrastructure for visitors was arranged. The trails and fences for easy access to the caves were built, and the old lighting was replaced by the new LED lighting to enable presentations and cave tours. Neither of them, fence or lighting, have negative impact to cave diversity. Speleo Museum was established too. A permanent exhibition was made and exhibits representing the geological origin and cultural historical past of history of exploration of the Bmw caves were exhibited. The main goal of the project is establishment and promotion of natural and archaeological heritage in the caves of the Adrian region as a tourist product. The project focuses on the sustainable development of caves through the development of ecotourism, the establishment of network of tourist caves in the Adrian region, as well as the preservation of karst area and other caves that are not open for visitors. During the project, the promotion of all project and the space itself was continuously performed. We hope that the implementation of this project will improve the management of cave ecosystems, reduce the negative impact of visitors, and contribute to the development of speleotourism. We are pleased to be a part of this project, to which we have promoted the natural values of the area we manage. And now I want to show videos. And now can I share my screen so they re-download with presentation. I cannot share my screen. This was audio about identification. Okay. If I cannot share my videos, I want to thank you all for your attention. And if you have any questions, you can write them on chat. After consulting with my colleagues who worked on this project, I will be happy to send you answers. And I hope so, when all this with pandemic pass, that you will visit Sarajevo, Bmw landscape and Bmw Caves. Thank you all.
Grazie mille a te, Denisa, grazie dell'interessante presentazione. La prossima è la presentazione della città di Čačak, che presenterò io perché i colleghi serbi hanno problemi di connessione e quindi andrò a leggere il commento che loro hanno preparato per la loro presentazione. Dunque, questo è il titolo, poi la leggo in inglese perché il commento è in inglese. Experience on the project Hiking and Cave Tourism in Ovčar-Kablar Gorge. Participation in the project was an exceptional experience. The knowledge vested through the implementation of activities and cooperation with project partners was of great importance for tourism in our region and will be of great utility in our further work. A significant benefit for the city of Čačak was to take part in joint projects with similar organizations from EU member states. The priority for the city of Čačak was the importance of exchanging experience and establishing transnational structures and models, as well as participation in transnational working groups and the acquisition of new skills. Now I would like to briefly introduce you to the city of Čačak, Ovčar-Kablar Gorge. The city of Čačak is located in the central part of Serbia. The position of the city, natural beauty, tradition, culture, and rich historical and monumental heritage make it a recognizable tourist destination. The Čačak Valley is located between the Jelica mountain range, the mountain elevation of Ovčar and Kablar, and the Vujan mountain. Valley is decorated with a winding flow of the West Morava. Following the course of this river, 18 kilometers from the city of Čačak, is located Ovčar-Kablar Gorge. Ovčar-Kablar Gorge is a unique morphological unit, one of the most beautiful in Serbia. It was created by the river West Morava, which made its way through impressive mountain massifs of Ovčar and Kablar, after which it was named. Its geomorphological monumental values, then the richness and diversity of flora and fauna, make it very special. Its richness of natural heritage is best illustrated by the fact that the gorge has been proclaimed as an important bird area, IBA, and as protected natural property of the first category, a region of exceptional features with established second and third protection regimes. The Ovčar-Kablar Gorge is also adorned by the river West Morava. It provides numerous opportunities for both visitors and locals through the natural beauties of the gorge, are some of the ways to enjoy the peace and quiet of these natural oases. The river West Morava also enabled the formation of 2 lakes and 2 hydroelectric power plants. Its meanders are a special decoration and a reason to climb to the top of Kablar, from which the view reaches to the meanders and leaves you breathless. On the river bank, attached to the rocks, in the shadows of the woods, in the perfect condition of peace, 12 medieval monasteries were built, which preserve valuable church relics, old inscription, icons, and rare manuscripts, because the gorge was declared as a small Serbian Mount Athos. In the central part of Ovčar-Kablar Gorge, located the Ovčar Spa, surrounded by a greenery of vast forest complexes with a source of thermal mineral water. The Ovkar-Kablar Gorge has marked cycling routes that lead adventurers, professional and recreational cycling enthusiasts through the most attractive landscapes that hide beautiful lookouts, old roads, tunnels, monasteries, water sources, churches. A walk along marked hiking trails provide a similar pleasure, and lovers of nature and adrenaline sports have the opportunity to enjoy paragliding and mountaineering. The opening of caves can be clearly seen on the southern rocky slopes of Kablar, which descend steeply towards the river. On the slope of Ovkar, the existing speleological objects are hidden in dense forest vegetation. Well-known caves in Ovkar-Kablar Gorge, except the Cadenza, are Turcinovach, Vrelska, Pecina, and Sanitsky Bezdan. Other speleological objects are small, short caves. Unfortunately, these facilities have been not equipped, or fortunately I add, or used for tourism so far, but fortunately, the Cadenza Cave, as an historically unique cave in this area, has been given the opportunity to be a well-known and equipped tourist site. On this slide, you can see some monasteries in Ovkar-Kablar Gorge. Those are Monastery Blagovenstenie and Nikoliye, Saint Trinity, Heritage Sant Sava, and so on. Combination of hiking and speleological tourism. Considering that the caves are located on the slopes of the Ovkar and Kablar mountains, and that this whole area is perfect for walking and hiking, the connection between hiking and cave tourism is obvious and unbreakable. Hiking and mountaineering enthusiasts are often the initiators and active participants in arranging access trails. In that way, they achieve personal but also general usefulness, thus enabling numerous visitors to reach interesting locations, including speleological objects. But they also have a great influence on the increased attendance of the gorge by actively promoting their activities and natural beauties via the internet and other ways. They often host numerous national and international mountaineering associations and organize mountaineering actions and gathering, which reflects their direct impact on the increased interest and attendance in our region. In the following period, one such gathering will be organized, where the new arranged path to the Cadenza Cave will be presented. On the occasion, we expect that at least 100 people will walk this path and visit Cadenza. Except the Cadenza Cave, there is another cave in Ovkar-Kablar Gorge known to the general public, the Turcinovach Cave. It is located on the steep slope of Mount Kablar, and it is difficult to assess. Via Ferrata, iron track, leads to it, and the visit implies good physical readiness and love of mountaineering. The visit is possible only in the presence of professional alpinists, which again speaks of their contribution in the field of speleotourism. Ovkar-Kablar Gorge landscape is perfect for hiking and mountaineering, which initiated the fans of these disciplines to form two associations, Armadillo Extreme Sports Club and MA, Mountaineering Association of Kablar. They dedicated and continuous commitment achieves increased interest and attendance in our region. This unbreakable connection, the symbiosis of hiking and cave tourism, gave extraordinary results in the realization of the project. I have no doubt that in the coming period, in accordance with the possibilities, tour operators, in cooperation with mountaineering, will arrange the approach to some more caves and conduct the necessary speleological research, and they will also get the opportunity to be famous tourist sites. Cadenza Cave. In the beautiful natural environment of Ovkar-Kablar Gorge, there is the cave Cadenza, at the foot of the mountain Ovkar. The Cadenza Cave is historically one of the most significant underground rooms in Serbia. Its name, cross and blackened stone at the entrance of the cave, are testimony of tragic event which happened in Cadenza in the spring of 1815. City of Čačak finally got a chance to make this story available to a large number of people. Otherwise, the Morava River is a natural barrier to accessing the cave, so a visit to Cadenza Cave was almost impossible until recently. The project initiated a serious consideration of the access problem and finding the most adequate solution for access to Cadenza. In cooperation with M.A. Kablar and the competent services, we came to the most acceptable option, access to the hiking trail. The trail has been arranged, secured, hiking markings have been made, and the area directly in front of the cave is equipped for a break. This is the altar apse with painted image of Christ. Rest space, gateway and guide mark near the cave. Altar apse. Altar apse and cave interior. A cross on the sarcophagus in which the bones of the victim were laid. With the realization of the planned project activities and the exceptional partnership, the topic of cave tourism has been intensified among the tourist operators of our region. Speleotourism in our area was at an inviable level, certainly for the good reasons faced by tour operators, and we hope that we managed to master some of them together through the Adiaticaves project. We expect that the developed awareness and further investment in sustainable tourism will give significant results in the coming period. Promotional activities had a serious impact on the increased interest in cave tourism, although we expect more intensive promotion and real result after the pandemic, which, as we all know, had a very negative impact on tourism activities. Tourism in our region functions and develops through devoted work and continuous cooperation of the tourist organization of Čačak, the tourist agency of Lazena, numerous category and numerous catering facilities, the influence of the media and associations whose sphere of interest and work can be related to tourism. The association that supported our work on the project is M.A. Kablar, although the symbiotic connection between hiking and speleology helped in the realization of some project activities, I must not omit the fact that also a great contribution to the project and sustainable development of cave tourism was achieved thanks to the cooperation with TOC and TA Lazena. For the end of this presentation, I would like to thank all of them for their selfless and absolute support. Thanks a lot to all project partners for their correct cooperation. It has been our pleasure to cooperate with you. Thank you very much. This was the end of the presentation of the city of Čačak. Ritorno all'italiano. Presento la collega Ivana Maras, che rappresenta il Parco Nazionale di Velebit. Vediamo se è collegata. Ecco qua. A te la parola, Ivana.
Thank you, Massimo. I hope everybody hear me well. Well, I'm Ivana Maras from Velebit Nature Park, and I want to greet you all in behalf of Velebit Nature Park. Today I will present two activities we carried out as part of Adiaticaves Cave project, but also I would like to briefly present our large infrastructure project related to improvement of infrastructure in Turcinovach Caves. And first, I would like to present an activity we did within the work package 4. We have arranged an existing walking trail from upper Turcinovach Cave to Svetna Cave as an additional touristic offer. The length of this trail is about 2.5 kilometers, and an interesting story is connected to Svetna Cave, which we wanted to share with the public. The Svetna Cave, you can see on the map the route from Turcinovach Cave to Svetna Cave. The Svetna Cave was first called Kozareva Cave, but after spreading the legend of the miraculous water that flows from its stone walls, it was called Svetna Cave. On English, it is Holy Cave. Beside the cave, there is an Orthodox Church of St. Mark, built in 1863. The cave is it's a small cave about 25 meters long and contains altars and icons which are sometimes used for religious ceremonies, something like Cadenza Cave. In addition to religious ceremonies and collection of miraculous water, stains can also be found in the cave on which pilgrim leaves clothes, believing that it will cure the sick. People practice washing or just moisturizing hands with water when entering the cave for healing purposes. And also many visitors light candles in honor of patron of Gračac field, St. Mark. Well, what we done, now you will see what we done. We renovated the existing walking trail according to regulation of Republic Croatia, and it was cleaning the vegetation in the corridor of the trail and rehabilitation of part of trails by constructing and rehabilitating fencing wall of stones with traditional drywall techniques. We also, along the entire route, implement the signaling and interpretation system according to the Book of Standards for the use of unique visual identity. On the following pictures, you can see how the trail looked like before renovation. Everything was overgrown, and in part it was almost impassable. And after that, you can see how it looked like when we renovate and clear everything. We have now a beautiful educational trail that it's perfect for summer walks in the shady forest. Now I'm going to tell you something about another activity we conducted within the implementation Adriatic Cave project. We carried out an action of cleaning speleological objects. It is a pit that is 120 meters deep at the location Zobinovac, which is located at the Visočica, below the Visočica mountain in Velebit Nature Park. Well, the action was held in last fall in cooperation with Croatian Mountain Rescue Service, Speleological Department of Mountaineering Association from Gospić, utility company from Gospić, and also Croatian Forest, his administration from Gospić. The action was very demanding, and it was necessary to make good preparation, which is why we asked the Croatian Mountains Rescue Service for cooperation. They set up the ropes and secured the pit, and they helped us get the waste out. In addition to waste extraction, much more important component was raising public awareness of the sensitivity of underground ecosystem and the importance of their protection. That is why it was very important for us that the story reached the public, so the action was covered by local journalists, and they publish articles on local web portals, and we also have they broadcast the news throughout the country. Well, we prepared a video about the action, and I would like to show you. I now have to share my screen. I hope I will make it.
Diviso, però vediamo ancora la pagina della presentazione e della conferenza nel tuo schermo, quindi dovresti spostare lo schermo il tuo schermo sul video, e penso che in questo modo riusciremo a vederlo. Ti ridò la parola.
Okay, I couldn't do it because everything was frozen. Maybe I should try to share the screen at the end of presentation so that we don't waste the time. I will try one more time at the end. So I will now carry on with the presentation. That was okay. Back. At the beginning of presentation, I mentioned our infrastructure project that we are implementing in Turcinovach Cave that I would like briefly present to you. The project is expected to be completed by the end of this year, and we are implementing the project in cooperation with partners Zadar County, Public Institution Natura Jadera, and Zagreb Speleological Association, and each partner has its role in the project. The value of the project is more than 9 million euros, and most of it is related to the construction or improvement of infrastructure for visitors. 85% of this project is funded by the EU RDF funds, and I will tell you about the goals we set through that project. First goal is to develop a new competitive and integrated tourist offer by developing a new supported infrastructure for visitors in the area of Nature Park Velebit, which implies the construction of new infrastructure which result in an increase of number of visitors. Second goal is increase the educational, interpretive and professional scientific potential of Nature Park, which include development and implementation of educational programs, conducting researches, establish monitoring system, establish a partnership network, and so on. The third goal is establish an efficient and sustainable management and business system of the public institution Velebit Nature Park, where we want to introduce an electronic visitor monitoring system, electronic ticket payment linked to our accounting system, and we also plan to develop new contents outside the area of Turcinovach Cave, and also the final goal is to increase income of the institution and increasing number of employees, which is very important for the local community because large number of people moved away in search for work. Well, regarding the infrastructure works, investments, the plan, we are now building a visitor center with a surface of 1,000 square meters, and that visitor center will contain a multi-purpose hall with 200 seats, coffee bar and accompanying facility, exhibition hall, an outdoor amphitheater, speleological center with laboratories and accommodation units, office space in the administration, and also spaces for learning and socializing. Now I'm going to show you the picture how everything looked before and how it should look like after the construction. The first picture shows a motel that was before, and she was devastated, and now it was completely demolished, and a visitor center will be built in its place. This is also a picture how it was before. You can see houses on parking space. They serve for ticket payment, and it was also a souvenir shop. Also, you can see a roof of motel I just showed you. And this is the picture how it's going to be by the end of the year. And this is a closer picture of the new buildings and parking spaces, parking lot and resting place. Well, we also, beside visitor center, plan to build resting place with parking. It's going to be about 100 parking space for cars and buses, also information center and souvenir shop, and toilets and wardrobes for visitors. On multi-purpose plateau will be eco blocks for sale and presentation local products and souvenirs. On this slide you can see how it's going to look, these eco blocks. And this is the plan of the whole space, where you can see visitor center, parking, and this multi-purpose space with eco blocks. Okay, this is from closer view, parking space, and how it's going to be after the construction. This is a picture of demolition when it all started. And at one point it all looked like a bunch of earth and stones. However, construction has slowly begun and our buildings are rising above the ground every day more. Well, we plan to perform works also in caves. On the first 700 meters in lower Turcinovach Caves, and 700 meters in Upper Turcinovach Cave. What we plan is arrangement and renovation of walking trails and also introduction of new lighting system. Well, this is a picture of how it was and how it's going to be after the construction. Also another one picture. Okay. Well, this is how it looks like now. Okay. Now for the end, I would like to present some key program activities of the center. We plan to develop 17 new and specialized education and information programs for visitors of different categories. That will be, for instance, outdoor schools for visitors and for school groups, small car schools for primary and secondary school students, thematic workshop for local community related to the development of tourism and tourist offer, small schools of speleology, educational tours in Turcinovach Cave, and development of, just a minute, and specialized training for speleologists, specialized guide certification programs for speleotourism, and speleological adventure tours in Turcinovach Massif, for example, for 1 day, for weekend, or 5-day survival. We also want to implement minimum 200 speleological education and adventure tours a year in Turcinovach Cave and also in wider area of Turcinovach Massif, and also implement training of 1 guide for people with special needs for sign language. We are developing and implementing a program of professional and scientific research, inventory and valorization of wider area based on the phenomena Turcinovach Cave, but also in wider area, and also development of a system of continuous monitoring for the purpose of sustainable management of natural heritage. That system will be connected to the center via satellite internet connection, and 6 speleological research and karst underground project. Also want to define and implement two new karst underground facilities for adventurous tours, and also implementation of a system of volunteer programs, very, very important to us at national and also at international level. But in order to that activities of the Turcinovach Cave to be sustainable after the project, it's necessary to establish an international partnership networks on speleological and professional scientific organization. The aim of this activity is to position the area of Turcinovach with the basic phenomena of Turcinovach Cave in developed nature park and develop it as an attractive destination for tourists, speleologists, adventurers, and also for researchers and professional community. Okay, that was my presentation. Thank you for your attention. We all already very tired right now at the moment. I also want to thank to be part of this project and to all partners that make us part of projects. Maybe I should try to share screen one more time if I made to show you the videos of the cleaning pit No, I can't do it. It's impossible.
Ok Ivana, grazie lo stesso, grazie mille per la tua presentazione. Magari se qualcuno è interessato al video vedremo di caricarlo in qualche modo nelle pagine di progetto. Sicuramente può essere un contributo interessante. Allora, dopo la presentazione che ho letto prima ho bevuto un bicchiere d'acqua e adesso posso approfittarne per scusarmi con gli amici serbi per la pronuncia dei toponimi in serbo, che non era assolutamente facile, e magari anche per l'inglese, per quelli che hanno ascoltato in inglese, perché magari non era neanche quello un granché. Ora la forma del progetto sta prendendo più consistenza e abbiamo visto attraverso le presentazioni dei partner come davvero molte e variegate siano state le attività e siano stati gli interventi realizzati nell'ambito del progetto Adiaticaves. Vediamo ora l'esperienza di un altro partner, una grotta direi piuttosto conosciuta a livello internazionale, che è la Lipa Cave. La presentazione sarà a cura di Milena Rajcevic, a cui do immediatamente la parola.
Good day from me also. I hope you all can hear me. Thank you, Erika, for nodding. Thank you. Thank you for all your presentations. They were very interesting. What I wanted to say in the beginning is that we also, as you have heard from other partners, that we have all implemented more monitoring devices into our caves. We all worked on these main deliverables that we prepared together, like Charter of Caves and Book of Caves. And these are things that Erika and other partners presented before me. So in my presentation today, I'm going to focus on things that we in Lipa Cave specifically did, and that are in addition to all other deliverables that we prepared all together. So I'm sorry, yeah. Just give me a second so I can change my screen. So what we worked on in the previous period, and mainly in the year 2019, that was very successful tourism year, or very successful year for the whole tourism in Montenegro, and I think in Adriatic region also. We worked and devoted our efforts towards many things and towards many areas within our business that can improve our service, that can improve our work, that can extend our season. And also what we've done in this past period, we shared all of this knowledge that we gathered in 2019 with our partners within Adiaticaves. So we've developed series of documents, series of outputs and deliverables that are listed here on this slide, and those are guidelines on guide training, which I will talk specifically about today, then cave visit service design manual. After that, we worked on manual for raising awareness amongst local population, then toolkit for stakeholders involvement in cave promotion. After that, we worked on manual for raising digital marketing presence. Then on the case study on best practices in sustainability of cave tourism, and last but not least, sustainable code of conduct guidelines for sustainable development of tourism in caves. So the first thing I'm going to present is the most interesting manual, at least for me, are the guidelines on guide training. So what are we facing in our country? We are actually having the situation where there is no official education for cave guides. So we are being the only valorized cave in Montenegro and the only cave used for touristic purposes. We had to educate our guides ourselves. So we made a series of lectures and the lecture plans for all the guides joining our company. Most of our guides are guides in the area of tourism. Also, they're the people that were working in the area of tourism or guiding just regular tours. And there is education for just for regular city tours, country tours, but not for the guys working in the cave. So what you can see on this slide is actually this series of lectures for which we also have materials prepared that we also use them in our lectures and working with our guides, and we also share those with our partners, so you can all adjust them to your specific needs, to your specific caves, and actually use them to train your guides better. Within the project, we developed a network of Paleo guides, but what we recognize in Lipa Cave that most of the guides that we need are not exactly Paleo guides, but guides that will lead or that will conduct just regular cave tours. By regular cave tours, I mean those cave tours that are mostly wanted by our visitors. Those are shorter cave tours where visitors can learn something about the cave, see the most impressive cave holes, just experience the whole cave environment, and those are type of a short cave tours. So within lecture 1, we are working with our guides on speleology and speleological objects in our country. Then within the lecture 2, we are speaking specifically about caves, their vulnerability, conservation and valorization, and this is mainly where we use those materials that we came up with within work on the Adiaticaves project. Then we are working with our guides on Lipa Cave tours and the facilities that we have, and some of those facilities we've improved during the period of this Adiaticaves project. Then of course we are working with our guides and teaching them about our projects and partnerships, so they can spread knowledge, for example, about Adiaticaves brand. We found it very important to work with our guides on marketing and communication area because our guides are those that are in touch with our visitors, and they are later the ones that are actually sharing the knowledge that we have, sharing the experience of the cave, and those are the ones leaving the best impression or the main impression on our visitors, and our visitors are our brand ambassadors later on. Of course, within lectures 6 and 7, we are working with our guides on programs for visiting caves. This is something that we all developed, I believe, and some of us presented it here during the Adiaticaves project period. Then we are, of course, working with our guides on the specific day-to-day activities and getting them prepared to work with our visitors. After we worked with our guides after we built on their capacities, on their knowledge, we teach them also about cave visits and our specificities of our service. But in order to do that, what we had to do first is develop a service design manual. And actually what we've done in this past period, we've realized that it's not enough just to have a cave visit and to price it and to advertise it. Actually, what is most important is to devise it in a good way, so you would not encounter gaps between that of what you're offering and what visitors are expecting, and etc. For us to develop a good cave visit service, we needed to look for a theoretical background that helped us actually develop our service in the best way. And what we wanted to do is actually standardize our service, so we can standardize our work processes, which makes it easier for our guides to conduct tours, to offer the same or similar experience, even though services are always they're not always offered or presented or sold in the same way. However, we wanted to standardize them in some way in order to make it easier for also our management to follow work of our guides. So what we wanted to eliminate those gaps that occur between expected service by our visitors and that service that they perceive before visiting our location. Then we recognize that there are gaps between customer expectations or what they're expecting to encounter on our location and company perceptions of those expectations. Then you encounter a gap between customer-driven service design and standards and company perceptions on the other side. And there are two more gaps between service delivery and customer-driven service delivery and external communication to customers. So in short, what we found out is that it's the best advertise or to communicate the service that we can offer and that we are offering and communicate it in a simple way, which we are doing through our website, through different influencers and through different media channels that we are using. And we are making sure to deliver that service in the place where we are actually offering our service. So in order to do this in the best way, we devised a service design manual in which we wrote down the service encounter cascade, or we described the way that our visitors are encountering the service at our location, mainly first at the parking lot where they leave their cars and buy tickets, and then later on inside our speleological object or inside Lipa Cave. Then we tried in this period behind us, and we are also trying in this new era to redesign always our services, to be innovative, to offer something new. We've been modifying our services based on what visitors have been expecting from us, and we've been modifying our services based on the new ideas or something else that's been done in the world in the area of show caves. However, we all know that this past year has been a bit harder than before for us in every way, actually, not only in service design and redesign. What we've done, we also blueprinted our service. We've done this mainly to make our employees' jobs a little bit easier. It's hard when our employees, they see only a part of the service. They see only tour that they're conducting within the cave. But for us, it's very important for our employees to see all the processes that are going on behind that tour and all the processes that are going on after the tour. Because as any tourism business, we are very dependent on our visitors and on them being our brand ambassadors after the visit. So what we are always counting on is on them leaving us positive reviews on different media platforms, for example, TripAdvisor or Google. And we find it very important for our employees to recognize the importance of those media channels, not only for our visitors, where they learn about our tours, but also for us as a business, where those channels serve as promotional channels kind of for us. Then we've also, in the past period, in order to, of course, our main goal is always to increase turnover, increase number of visitors, but also do all of that in the sustainable manner. We realized that it's very important for us to raise awareness among local population. And what we've also encountered since the day of opening Lipa Cave is very low awareness within our local population on caves in Montenegro in general. Which is very odd to say, because in the area of Cetinje there is more than 1,000 of speleological objects, but they're very little known about. Very small number of researchers have researched those speleological objects, and very little talk about speleological objects was going on in the area of tourism. So once we opened the cave, we encountered the market, the local market that knows little about speleological tourism, a market that's heard about some of the biggest cave in the area, but they really don't know how cave tours are conducted and what one cave can offer at all. So we tried to segment our local market in different groups in order to reach them in the best way. So we try to make some kind of a big segments that we can reach through different channels schools, but also have a wide reach within local populations. So we found that schools and universities are two big target groups, and they consist of people that tomorrow will be our not only brand ambassadors, but some of them will be working in the area of tourism, and some of them will for sure be working in Lipa Cave or some other show cave in Montenegro. So we've reached schools, and through series of presentations that we had in schools in the last year, reaching out to schools was a great experience for us as employees of Lipa Cave, because we had a chance to learn so much from these school children. We had a chance to teach them about how important preservation and conservation of caves is, and how interesting can it be to work for one cave. Then we reached out to universities. We had also a series of presentations, mainly with students that are learning or are being educated in the area of tourism. After we reached out to these primary segments, we've tried to also cover general public, which we've been doing through different promotional materials, big boards, and etc. But school and universities have been really important segments. Unfortunately, what happened last year with the coronavirus crisis, we had actually schools are all mainly online, universities are online, and it was very hard to reach out to them and to have in-person communication. So this is why our project hasn't had so many activities in this area in the past year. However, we're truly hoping that coronavirus crisis is going to end soon, and we are again going to continue with our activities in the field, because this was very lucrative experience for the employees also. Then we did with when developing different projects, when working with the different target groups, we are always making sure to follow or to respect sustainability pillars, making sure to respect social outcomes and environmental, to pay attention to social and environmental outcomes of all our action. It is true that our main goal is to have economic outcomes, to have economic benefit of all the actions that we take. However, we do realize that social and environmental pillars are very important, and we take them very seriously, and they are type of responsibility. We take responsibility in this area, and we are giving our best to preserve cultural and heritage, and of course to improve infrastructure in the area that we are doing business, then to work with local community, to provide jobs for the local community, and etc., while at the same time respecting both social and environmental outcomes of all our actions. What we have also realized while working on the Adrian project, we had the target groups that we have to reach in each period, that we should reach in every period. And when presenting Adiaticaves project to all our partners, we realized that there are many various stakeholders in the area of tourism that we should be able to reach out, and that should become our partners in doing business. It is the fact is that we can't do it alone on the market. We are dependent on tourism agencies, we are dependent on hotels, also on our local municipality, local tourism organization, national tourism organization. So we found ways to cooperate with them. We are cooperating with Ministry of Sustainable Development and Tourism. We had a chance to influence many policies. Now we are working on new packages of help towards economy, towards all tourism businesses that have been affected by corona crisis. We are working with Ministry of Sustainable Development through our Chamber of Commerce, through the board of Chamber of Commerce, where our director is a member. we've often influenced all the policies in the past period, and we had this was a great learning experience for us and a great way to spread knowledge about Adiatic Caves, spread the word about Adiaticaves Caves brand. Then we have very tight cooperation with Old Royal Capital Cetinje, because that's where we are located. Our cave, Lipa Cave, is located in the village, but this is only 5 kilometers from the town center. And our cooperation with Old Royal Capital has been great in the past period. Then we are working with our local tourism organization, where this cooperation is also connected to the cooperation with our Old Royal Capital Cetinje, and we are working with national tourism organization. What has mainly been part of this cooperation was our joint presentation on different fairs in abroad. This has been, of course, delayed in this past period due to the corona crisis. However, we are truly hoping that that we will be able to go to the fairs and in the future. For example, this past period, thanks to the great cooperation that we had with LTO and NTO, they've been always carrying our promotional materials to the fairs and etc. And then hotels and agencies, very important markets for us, of course. Tourists coming from abroad, they're always staying within hotels and booking their tours through agencies. So this cooperation has been, economic aspect of this cooperation has been the most important, let's say. Then we have great cooperation with national parks. Lipa Cave, for example, is many different caves within this project here are also part of national parks, or can be found in national parks, which is not a case with Lipa Cave. We are categorized differently in our country. We are protected natural habitat, but with national parks, which is a public institution, we have great cooperation because our visitors are at the same time visitors to these national parks. With Chamber of Commerce, I already mentioned, and we of course have great cooperation with the Environmental Protection Agency of Montenegro, because all the works that we do in the cave have to be in alignment with their standards, and they have to be involved in everything. Then we worked on manual for raising digital marketing presence, specializing in caves valorized for touristic purposes. How did we come up with this idea? Actually, we follow a lot of different marketing channels, blogs, OTAs, and etc. And we've realized that not much has been done for cave tourism, for speleological tourism. So in this area, we decided to put our knowledge from digital marketing that we apply on our cave into one manual that can be useful and great for all different caves that are used for tourism purposes. So our main media channels are webpage, social media, e-database, and remarketing. So I put here all the trends in digital promotion, and if you have any questions, because now we should have really short time within this conference, you can write me or ask anything you want, and we can help you with the ways that we've improved our digital presence through using this manual and its complementing documents. So I will not stay here long, but for our company, we have a marketing strategy, of course. We update it regularly, and we are following certain stages in development of all marketing campaigns. And we've been doing this in the past period. The great thing that we encountered is that digital marketing has one great advantage, which is a global reach. And we've been exploiting this advantage not only through our social media pages, but we've also been using since last year advantages of newsletter campaigns, where we used also for Adiaticaves brands word spreading. We've used newsletters actively to inform our partners about for example, from cave to cave brochures or our project brochures, and etc. Then we did a case study on best practices in sustainability of cave tourism. Main thing that we did during the duration of Adiaticaves project, we had problems with parking space in front of our cave. So in order to overcome a problem of many vehicles parking in front of our cave, we have rented a train. We are using train to transport visitors from one large parking lot to the entrance of our cave. And in our two manuals, we put all the information about this, and this is a great idea that some other caves, and I know some other caves in the region, can use similar approach that we did in order to improve sustainability of their cave tourism. Then last, we developed a sustainable code of conduct guidelines for for sustainable development of tourism in caves. Actually, we all have those rules and guidelines on how to behave inside the cave. What we did, we extended on those, and we worked a lot with our guides in order to implement this cave etiquette in the best way, and to kind of impose it on our visitors. So I'm sorry, I've been clicking too much. These are the main parts in my presentation and main points in our presentation. I'm very sorry there is not much more time in order to go in detail in every section, but I think this summarizes most important things. And I thank you all for your attention. And if you have any questions, I will be available here.
Grazie a te Milena, rinnovo anch'io la proposta di fare qualche domanda che magari possiamo leggere alla fine della sessione pomeridiana. Non ne sono ancora arrivate, quindi se qualcuno ha qualcosa da chiedere ai relatori del pomeriggio può scriverlo nel riquadro e saranno poi lette e saranno date le risposte al termine di quest'ultima presentazione. L'ultima presentazione è quella delle attività dell'ente di gestione per i parchi e la biodiversità Romagna, l'ente per cui lavoravo fino a pochi mesi fa e l'ente a cui mi sento ancora di appartenere. L'ente ha sviluppato le attività di progetto sia nel parco regionale della Vena del Gesso Romagnola che nella riserva naturale regionale delle Grotte di Onferno. Entrambe sono aree di gessi messiniani, quindi rocce vaporitiche, quindi grotte diverse da quelle in calcare, ma altrettanto affascinanti. Approfitto perché ho visto che ancora tra il pubblico c'è una delle nostre speleoguide, forse quella che è stata più attiva anche nel coinvolgimento di altri speleologi per i corsi di formazione per diventare speleoguide, che è Piero Gualandi. Lo ringrazio e lo saluto anche per aver avuto la pazienza di seguirci fino alla fine, ma soprattutto per il supporto durante il progetto. La presentazione è di nuovo a cura di Veronica Chiarini, che è stata, come dicevo in mattinata, per il nostro ente davvero mente e cuore del progetto, assieme ad Antonio Venturi, che è il nostro presidente, che ha sempre supportato questo progetto come tutte le altre attività che l'ente ha sviluppato negli anni in cui sono stato il direttore, quindi un grande ringraziamento va anche a lui.
Ok, grazie Massimiliano. Non so se c'è Antonio collegato, riesci a passare la voce prima a lui che fa una piccola presentazione dell'ente.
Ma riesco a parlare?
Ora sì.
Eccomi qua. Signore e signori, buonasera. Dopo una giornata intensa vi porto via pochi minuti. È con grande piacere che a nome dell'ente di gestione parchi e la biodiversità della Romagna porgo un saluto a tutti i partecipanti alla conferenza finale del progetto Interreg Adiaticaves. L'ente che presiedo è uno dei 7 partner del progetto, di cui il Parco Nazionale della Maiella rappresenta l'ente capofila. Come avete potuto scoprire e approfondire durante la conferenza, lo scopo principale del progetto è stato quello di promuovere un turismo sostenibile in grotta e nei siti archeologici legati agli ambienti carsici e di favorirne la tutela attraverso la creazione di una rete di enti e istituzioni per gestirle in maniera sostenibile ed identificate dall'ODG Adiaticaves. Nell'ambito del progetto, la nostra validissima collaboratrice Veronica Chiarini, guidata fino a pochi mesi fa dal moderatore della conferenza odierna, dottor Massimiliano Costa, che è stato mio presidente per un po', che ha prima parlato di essere ancora rimasto molto legato. Ecco, dicevo che Veronica Chiarini ha coordinato diverse attività riguardanti principalmente la produzione di materiali di comunicazione e promozione turistica, nonché gli aspetti legati alla tutela, alla gestione sostenibile e alle attività di monitoraggio delle aree carsiche. L'auspicio è che gli obiettivi e i risultati già ottenuti siano non un punto di arrivo, ma uno stimolo a proseguire ancora la collaborazione nel tempo, grazie allo spirito che si è instaurato fra i partecipanti al progetto e alla summenzionata creazione della rete per favorire la tutela degli ambienti carsici. Concludo con un ringraziamento a tutti i partecipanti alla conferenza finale, ai relatori e ai loro collaboratori per l'impegno profuso ai fini del miglior riuscita del progetto. Grazie dell'attenzione e ancora cordiali saluti.
Ok, grazie Antonio. Ora passo all'inglese, alla presentazione. Actually this managing authority is the public institution entitled for the management of protected natural areas of the whole macro area Romagna. And as Massimiliano said, we have in two areas, in the Vena del Gesso Romagnola Regional Park and in the Inferno Nature Reserve, we can find a particular rock, which is gypsum. It is actually an evaporite rock deposited about 6 million years ago, and it is soluble. That means that water can enter the fractures and dissolve the rock and form caves. In our regional park, we have at least 200 caves developing in this rock. Here you can see just an overview on the landscapes at the surface, just to make you willing to come to visit us once the pandemic will finish. And let's go to our project caves. We have 3 caves that are open to the public. 2 of them, Cadenza Cave and Bmw Cave, are in the Vena del Gesso Romagnola Regional Park, while the third one is in the Inferno Nature Reserve. All of them develops in gypsum, and Cadenza Cave is a wild cave that can be visited only with guided caving tours, while Bmw Cave and Inferno Cave give the possibility to choose between the guided caving tours and easier options that are closer to the tourist tour. In addition, Bmw Cave is also an archaeological site because evidence attesting the frequentation of this site since the Bronze Age were found in this place. We have 2 more areas where we implemented some project activities that are Catoresina and Cava Marana. Catoresina it's actually a lapis specularis mining site. It's actually a Roman mining site where they used to quarry to extract a particular secondary gypsum which is called lapis specularis, which was used as an alternative of glass to make windows. While Cava Marana was a gypsum quarry that at present is used for didactic purposes, because some important geological features can be observed inside, and also for the organization of conferences and events. So let's go to the project activities. Actually, the Adiatic Cave project was subdivided into 4 main work packages, grouping different activities under a specific theme. We have the first work package was about tourism development and sustainable management strategy. The second one was about cave conservation. Then we have the pilot projects and finally communication activities. Under the first work package, the logo, the Adiatic Cave logo, was developed and approved by the managing authorities. And also a brand identity manual was created, was realized and provided to the project partners. And this manual contains all the information about the use of the Adiatic Cave logo, which identify all the caves and managing authorities joining the Adiatic Cave network. We realized also the informative brochure collecting the material from the project partners, and some templates like the ones to make the banners with the cave name on them, or the roll-ups. An important activity under this work package was the one related to the creation of local tour packages. Here you can just see an overview on 3 tour packages we created thanks to the collaboration of Imola Faenza Tourism Company, and that were included in the catalog. We actually coordinated the realization of this catalog, collecting all the material, so all the local tour packages realized by the project partners, and including also a proposal of an international tour. Another important activity was the creation of a Spelo Guide network. As I told you this morning, Spelo Guides are people are experienced cavers and guides who are able to safely guide visitors outside the artificial walkways in caves. We actually organized an update training for existing Spelo Guides, inviting all the partners here in our territories. That was in 2019, where we just talked about several subjects, especially about the natural features of karst environments and cave conservation. And we drafted also a Spelo Guide agreement, which is a document summarizing all the behavior that a Spelo Guide should adopt while guiding people outside the artificial walkways in caves. And this document has to be subscribed and signed by any Spelo Guide willing to join this network. We also organized some cave visit tests in Cadenza Cave, in Catoresina, and in Inferno Cave, involving some of our Spelo Guides, and also to test the strategies of this project. Just a few words, because I talked about the chart of cave this morning. We coordinated the draft of this document and we officially adopted it as a managing authority last year on June. According to the general monitoring strategy I explained you in the presentation of this morning, we decided a specific monitoring strategy for our own cave. We decided to measure all the parameters in the 3 caves that are open to the public. So we positioned a device to measure CO2 in each cave, and data loggers to measure temperature and relative humidity, and also passive detectors to measure the radon activity in these caves. The results that cover at least 1 year of continuous data logging, were important for us to have a better picture of the variability of our cave, of the macroclimate of our caves. For example, here you can see some graphs reporting the external temperatures and cave temperatures for all our caves. And we can see that they behave in a different way. For example, on Svetna Cave, the green curve represents surface temperatures. The other ones are from the device placed inside the cave. We can see that cave temperature is quite variable, and it's mainly related to external changes. While Cadenza Cave and Bmw Cave have lower fluctuation. The fluctuation is of lower amplitude, so they are more sensitive to people entering this environment. Well, considering the pilot projects, thanks to the financing coming from this project, it was possible to put in place practical intervention in our territories that allowed us to increase our knowledge of our caves, for example, through the elaboration of the monitoring data, but also through an archaeological investigation that was organized in Bmw Cave, since it is an archaeological site, as I told you before. Or other intervention, like, for example, the replacement of an old and damaged fence along the hiking trail that led to the entrance of Cadenza Cave. Here you can see the before and after photos. Thanks to this financing, we also improve the offer of information for people who come to visit our territories through the realization and the installation of several panels describing both the project caves, but also karst features that can be seen on the surface while hiking in our territories. It was also possible to restore the wiring system, the electrical system in Cava Marana, and also to replace old halogen lamps with LED lights, both in Cava Marana and also in the first part of Bmw Cave. Thanks to this budget, it was also possible to lease a low carbon emission vehicle to be used in the Inferno Nature Reserve. Then finally, a chapter of this work package was related to direct intervention for habitat conservation. And actually, we used this budget to comply also with the strategies defined in the action plan and also in the chart of caves. And we managed to replace, for example, inside the Cadenza Cave, an old walkway that was realized in wood, with a new one realized in galvanized iron. And you can see that the old one was really degraded with a lot of molds, and this led to an important improvement of habitat condition in this place. We also made some intervention to protect vegetation close to some cave entrances, like in this one. It is a Rosa Saviotti cave. It's not a cave open to the public, it is a cave that is visited by cavers, but close to its entrance there are two rare ferns that need to be protected. Then an important intervention was realized inside Inferno Cave, thanks also to the collaboration of the cave managers. Here in the upper galleries, a lot of waste material was found, and an important cleaning operation was carried out. You can see all the materials that was just collected inside the cave and disposed. Further intervention are related to Catoresina, to the site I told you at the beginning of this presentation. A gate was installed, and also visiting protocols were realized in order to define the cave visits to this site. Finally, communication activities. Under this work package, we realized the promotional leaflet, QR code guidelines, and we managed, despite also the COVID-19 pandemic, to realize some events with both public authorities and wide public to raise awareness towards cave conservation and towards the activity carried out during this project. And we collaborated also with the lead partners and all the other partners for the realization of the Book of Caves. That is a really nice photographic book containing a lot of information of all the caves joining this network. So I'm finished my presentation. I want to thank you for listening and for your patience, since it has been a really long day. And special thanks to Massimiliano, who was the project developer who created this project, to our two presidents, Antonio and Marina, our current director, Nevio, and a special thank to Oscar Vani, who is the geologist of these managing authorities, and actually we worked together for the implementation of some of the project activities. And to the project coordinator, project managers, to all the project partners and all the people, the Paleo guides and all the people that collaborated with us and that supported us during this challenging but important experience. So thank you.
Grazie mille a te, Veronica. Grazie. Siamo arrivati alla fine. La giornata è stata molto piacevole, anche se utilizzare queste piattaforme invece di essere dal vivo cambia moltissimo la percezione e stanca tantissimo gli occhi. Vedo che non ci sono ancora domande, quindi non faccio io una domanda, ma cerco di trarre delle conclusioni. Se avete un secondo di pazienza, o altrimenti vi saluto chi non vuole avere un secondo di pazienza, e chi invece può rimanere un attimo. Vorrei concludere con un aneddoto e un po' una sommatoria della giornata. L'aneddoto riguarda il mio rapporto con le grotte. È una cosa personale che però secondo me testimonia bene il fascino di questi ambienti. Quando ho cominciato a fare il direttore del Parco della Vena del Gesso un po' più di 10 anni fa, ero stato un paio di volte in grotte non turistiche, grotte comunque in cui vengono fatte visite guidate da speleologi. Appena diventato direttore sono andato con gli speleologi a fare un giro in una grotta invece non attrezzata per niente e non normalmente visitata, fidandomi di loro perché sono persone straordinarie, con molti dei quali ho anche poi sviluppato un'amicizia che dura tuttora. Quella visita a quella grotta, che era in realtà metà grotta, metà una cava romana, che si chiama Grotta della Lucerna, per me è indimenticabile. Io ne sono uscito portando a casa l'unico pezzo di gesso, cosa che non si deve fare, però ce l'ho qui con me e ve lo faccio vedere, perché il gesso è veramente qualcosa di unico, è un materiale straordinario. Allora in conclusione secondo me merita di essere visto da tutti. Dico davvero, non bisogna portare a casa pezzi, questo però ha una storia particolare, perché quando visitai quella grotta uscii pensando che questa roba qua in fondo a una grotta doveva aver attratto prima o poi l'attenzione di qualcuno. Successivamente a gente del mestiere, qualche anno dopo, è venuta l'idea che in effetti quelle grotte parzialmente scavate potessero essere state utilizzate in epoca romana per estrarre esattamente quel tipo di gesso, questo gesso secondario, bellissimo, trasparente e usato al posto del vetro, perché dava una luce ancora più bella del vetro. Parlando della giornata, la prima cosa interessante di oggi è stato secondo me vedere come i progetti che hanno aderito al cluster sul turismo sostenibile ci hanno mostrato tutte le potenzialità turistiche che ha la nostra area adriatico-ionica e cosa possiamo fare per innanzitutto conservare queste potenzialità, conservare questi patrimoni e svilupparne l'utilizzo sostenibile grazie proprio anche al prossimo programma Interreg Adrian, di cui questa mattina abbiamo avuto delle interessanti anticipazioni. Venendo al progetto Adiaticaves, abbiamo visto che si è occupato di tutto quello di cui ci si poteva tutto sommato occupare: conservazione dell'habitat, la prima cosa, il piano di gestione per l'habitat 8310 della direttiva 9243, poi monitoraggio dei parametri ambientali per cercare di capire come le attività potevano incidere sulla conservazione di questo habitat, la valorizzazione e la promozione del turismo sostenibile e innovativo delle grotte, garantendo la conservazione attraverso la carta delle grotte, ma cercando di promuovere la visita attraverso il marchio Adiaticaves, attraverso il libro dedicato alle grotte, The Book of Caves, attraverso il web, attraverso il marketing, ma anche tanti interventi concreti alla realizzazione di infrastrutture leggere per la visita, il miglioramento delle strutture esistenti per renderle più sostenibili, la mobilità sostenibile per raggiungere le grotte più distanti dalle aree dai centri visita, studi e ricerche archeologiche, geologiche, biologiche per rendere le visite più interessanti, quindi per dare alle guide degli strumenti maggiori per coinvolgere e affascinare i visitatori e anche per lasciare ai visitatori un ricordo indelebile e più interessante. La formazione delle speleguide per dare loro questa nuova modalità di visita e anche per creare nuova occupazione. Poi i pacchetti turistici integrati che hanno cercato di mettere a sistema tutto ciò che era stato creato e offrirlo ai visitatori. Alla fine, infine, un importante lavoro di prosecuzione e disseminazione del progetto dopo la sua conclusione, che abbiamo visto in mattinata ha già permesso di coinvolgere, nella prima parte del pomeriggio, nella presentazione di Giuseppe del Parco Nazionale della Maiella, ha già permesso di coinvolgere, oltre ai partner di progetto, altre 20 grotte, quindi sono di più le grotte che hanno aderito al progetto successivamente di quelle che vi hanno partecipato dall'inizio. Secondo me questo è già un grande successo. Questo ci deve far capire che la rete Adiaticaves è nata, sta muovendo i primi passi, grandi passi, e ora sta a noi cercare di renderla sempre più vitale, di mantenerla nel tempo, mantenendo però l'idea che la priorità è la conservazione di questo patrimonio naturale straordinario, perché senza la conservazione nessuna valorizzazione sarà in futuro possibile. Concludo con i ringraziamenti. Ringrazio di nuovo davvero Natasha Ravbar per aver scritto con me questo progetto 5 anni fa. Ringrazio Jode Vaele per la supervisione scientifica a tutto il progetto. Ringrazio il lead partner, il Parco Nazionale della Maiella, e tutto il suo staff per aver guidato assieme a Erika Squadroni e ad Armando Fizzarotti, che erano i project manager, questi nostri 4 anni di implementazione del progetto e per averci portato tutti assieme a risultati così eccellenti. Un ringraziamento anche al segretariato congiunto del programma Adrian, ai colleghi della Regione Emilia-Romagna che ci hanno aiutato quando c'era bisogno, assistito e hanno contribuito alla buona riuscita del progetto. Un ringraziamento a tutto lo staff dell'ente Parchi e Biodiversità che ha lavorato con me al progetto e anche a tutti gli altri partner di progetto, senza i quali non saremmo riusciti ad arrivare fino qui. Riguardo alla giornata di oggi, un grazie agli interpreti e a tutto lo staff tecnico, perché sono stati impeccabili, grazie a tutti i relatori e soprattutto grazie a tutti per averci seguito durante questa interessante giornata. Io con questo ho concluso e se non ci sono domande, se nessun altro vuole fare interventi, vi auguro buona serata.